Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed
Your right hand, please. And repeat
at the
after me.
twilight's
I will highly recommend somebody to become a citizen just because America is a wonderful country. There's so many opportunities here.
The best thing about becoming a United States citizen is that now I become an American because I live in America and I love America and I have the privileges that any other American have. I have the privilege to vote, so I have my voice and I can apply for federal jobs and I'm planning to become a lawyer, so that will help me.
There are a number of reasons why an individual wants to become a U.S. citizen. I think the principal reason is that people want to participate more fully in American society. They want to be able to vote. There are certain jobs that, like firefighter or police officer, that you can't get unless you're a U.S. citizen. You can't be an officer in the military.
I realized how much of an advantage it was to be an American while traveling, or to be viewed as an American. In addition to that, I always thought that I was an American, so I thought it was the natural thing to do.
I'm a little ashamed to say that I lived here for 33 years before I became a United States citizen. I realized that what I was doing was disenfranchising myself from living fully within the community that I had chosen for the rest of my life.
Well, I decided to become a citizen because I realized that in order for me to move forward as an individual in this country, I needed to be able to stand up for what I believe in and have a voice in the process in civic life. And also just to bring closure to my whole experience as an immigrant and just fully reach that point where I'm a citizen and I don't have this fear of deportation.
Information on starting any process with immigration for any benefit that we offer is on our website, and it's quite a good website. It's uscis.gov for government. You can also download the forms right from that website. So not only do you get told how to and what forms you need, but also you can download the forms right there. We do have an information component. This is the room we're in now. For information, we will tell you how to, but we do not do it for you. But again, that's the role that our counterparts in the legal organizations and in our community-based organizations fill. That's the informal role that they fill in the whole process, and they do a great job. And it really is important that people have someone outside the government to be able to look at their whole case and tell them, yes, you will qualify, we believe you do qualify, or you have a real problem with this issue and you need to deal with that before you go forward to naturalization.
And, you know, they're very helpful. You can call them. You know, I thought this whole secrecy, you know, it's pretty straightforward. I think it's like, it can be a little overwhelming if you're coming from another country. Just to understand the bureaucracy and the legislations of another country. So you have to learn it, and when you learn it, you get, oh my God, it's so easy.
If a person were to come to see me and wanted to become a citizen of the United States, of course, first I would have to determine whether they meet the fundamental qualifications, which are that they've been a permanent resident for at least 5 years, 3 years if they're married to and living with a U.S. citizen spouse for those 3 years, or they come under one of the various exceptions under the law, for instance, individuals who are, have served in the military. Then I would want to check their record, if they have a criminal record. If they have a criminal record, they may be either temporarily or permanently barred for citizenship, or they may have committed a crime which would make them deportable, which of course certainly they would be, shouldn't want to file for citizenship if they're going to end up being deported. And then I would look to see if they're either exempt from the English language requirement or they speak, read, and write enough English that makes it worthwhile for them to submit their application. The cost for becoming a U.S. citizen today is $675, which includes the application fee and an $80 biometric or fingerprint fee. if a person is indigent, that is that they cannot afford the filing fee, they can have the fee waived. In order to get the fee waived, you have to prove that you cannot afford it.
I think that you should gather all your documentation. I think you should request a Freedom of Information Act, which is a FOIA, which is basically just asking the government to give you all the documents that anyone, you or yourself, has ever submitted on your behalf, and to consult.
So it's always best if an individual wanting to become a citizen get some sound legal advice before applying. In fact, some people end up, not only are they not eligible for citizenship and they lose their filing fee, but some people end up getting deported because of something in their past, which makes them not only ineligible for citizenship, but makes them, government have the power to remove them from the United States. Certainly one place to go for look for free services is the CUNY Citizenship and Immigration Service Centers located throughout New York City, and you can get a list of those at cuny.edu/citizenship now.
Before you are in it, you think, oh my God, it's overwhelming. I don't know where to start. I'm gonna need a lawyer. I don't understand. But when you're there, things are just fine.
It is a daunting process, there's no question. There's a lot of information that we require, there are a lot of requirements. Rightly so, it is a very precious benefit that we give out. However, most people have no problem meeting them.
Because people get nervous thinking it's not possible, but it's really possible. If you're an upright citizen, I think it should be pretty easy for you to apply and become a citizen. It's not that difficult. I mean, I got mine in less than a year.
I went through an application process. It was quite easy to do. I went to the immigration office at Government Center. It's got the paperwork filled out and everything that you're supposed to do. And I think the entire thing took about 6 months to a year.
The hardest part of becoming an American citizen was the test.
We are getting ready in October of '08 to begin to phase in a new citizenship test. The test that we currently have is very rote. It's all based on memorization of important facts and data that pertain to the United States. The new test is meant to give people a real sense of what it means to be part of the American experience and to be an American citizen.
Now, the new exam is more about concepts than facts. So, for example, instead of asking, what country did we fight in the Revolutionary War, it would ask, why did the colonists fight the British in the Revolutionary War? Now, this type of answer requires a better understanding of the Revolutionary War. It requires more than a one-word answer, and therefore it requires better verbal skills. Besides the oral questions, the applicant gets 3 opportunities to write 1 correct sentence in English, and the sentence has to be related to civics or history. Now, in advance, the applicants get a list of civics vocabulary that they can use. To prepare for the exam, there's plenty of information on the web, in writing, there are textbooks. However, most participants prefer a classroom or group situation where they can discuss the topics, have specific questions answered, and have an instructor or facilitator help them with the learning.
And if you're worried about preparing yourself for the new test, which I understand will begin in October, one of the things to do is to sign up for a class that will prepare you to take the test. City University of New York offers free ESL classes as well as free citizenship preparation classes. You can go to any one of the CUNY Adult Learning Center programs and sign up for one of the classes. If you need to learn to speak English, you can sign up for the ESL class, and in that class they also cover American history, civics, and you'll also learn government. So you're doing 2 things at the same time. You're preparing yourself to learn to speak English better, read and write English better, and at the same time preparing yourself to take the test.
As immigrants, we struggle with that idea of permanence, and we have very strong ties to our home countries, which I think make that initial decision very difficult. And I guess what I would say to people is just to really recognize that that just because you become a citizen of another country, that does not mean that you're selling your motherland or your patria. That doesn't make you any more Mexican, any more Ecuadorian, any less Colombian, any less anything. It really is. It's just you acknowledging that you have a life here now.
Since I became an American, that doesn't mean I'm gonna leave my culture or religion. I'm still gonna be it.
There are some people that are very attached to their homeland for the right reasons, and I think they should be. I mean, I'm from Haiti originally, and although I'm naturalized American, I'm very proud of my Haitian roots, and I understand its history. I understand where I came from, so I don't think that they necessarily have to give that up. And I think you have to have the same level of pride and an attachment to this country as you would have, for perhaps the country where you came from. It becomes a part of you, and I think you have to be comfortable with that, and you have to own that.
After 13 years of being in this country, I finally went ahead and submitted my paperwork to become a citizen, and today here I am to be sworn in.
Today is a very special day for me. I feel so happy because I'm going to become an American citizen.
I was really impressed during the ceremony when I received my citizenship certificate. I was really impressed with the number of people that were doing the same thing at the same time. I believe there were about 400 people there. And amidst this crowd, there were people from all over the world.
What surprised me more than anything else was the day of the ceremony. I just got caught up in this this feeling of pride that was in the room, and I'll always remember how I felt.
The first reason I wanted to become an American citizen is so that I'll be able to vote.
I'll be voting because, as I said, I'm a part of America now, and I would like to choose the person I think best suited, to run this country. And I'll be very proud to, put in my vote.
And I think engaging in that kind of civic responsibility has in a sense transformed how I experience this country, and I believe how this country experiences me.
By being a citizen, you are the constituency, and you do have the right to express your views and your concerns now.
I think that the task at hand for those of us who have succeeded just a little bit is to be able to insert a level of opportunity, hope, resources, wherever we can. I think if we seed this country with these kinds of things and get people engaged in each other's lives, I think that the human spirit will rise to the challenge.
In my estimation, it is the best thing the American government does, the U.S. government does, is to naturalize new citizens. It rejuvenates the society. It really brings new lifeblood into our country, and it really is the foundation of what we do, and it's a very valued privilege to be an American citizen.
Out of many one means we can still live in a totally diverse style, but create one really strong and beautiful, rich and diverse culture.
They begin the process as citizens from many different countries, and they complete the process as citizens of one country, of the United States. So you have many becoming one as part of a stronger America.